Welcome back to a special episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be back in just a minute, but first let's hear from our podcast sponsors. We want to thank Violet Defense for their support of the Educational AD Podcast. Go to their website at violetdefense.com for more information. Violet Defense is dedicated to protecting our world from germs by bringing the power of UV disinfection to everyday spaces. Their patented technology enables them to harness the power of the sun to incorporate ultraviolet light into products and environments like never before. Whether you're ready to implement existing products, or if you'd like to explore researching and developing a custom deployment of their technology for your school, Violet Defense has the solutions and the experience you need. Go to violetdefense.com for more information. We also want to thank Sidelight Interactive. You know, it's becoming harder and harder to fund an athletic department these days, but Sidelight Interactive's indoor scoring tables and video boards can generate $10,000 or more every year while creating excitement in the gym and the ultimate game day experience for your athletes. We've got a Sidelight Interactive video score table in our gym, and it is really a fantastic product. Go to sidelineinteractive.com or call 832-786-0302 to schedule a live web demo to see their tables and boards in action and find out what these fantastic products can do for you. You can also email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com. That's sales@sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to thank Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. They are on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. They provide a variety of interactive touchscreen options, along with an extensive library of templates to make it easier than ever to recognize the athletic achievements of your students, both past and present. For ideas on how to showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments, visit vitalsignswalloffame.com. Or to learn more and get started with your own digital Wall of Fame tribute, call them at 614-981-3589 or email them at sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com. You won't be disappointed. We also want to thank Huddle. At Huddle, we power sports. More than 180,000 teams across the world are using Huddle to elevate the performance of their teams, their student athletes, with video and with analytics. Huddle is a complete platform with online tools, mobile and desktop apps, smart cameras, including the Huddle Focus. We've got Huddle Focus in our gym, and our coaches just love it. Of course, there's analytics and a whole lot more. Huddle is built for every level of play, starting with the club and the youth teams, up through high schools, colleges, and even into the professional ranks. You're in pretty good company, as over 6 million people are using Huddle, including your student athletes, a lot of their parents, and of course, the coaches of the college and university teams that you're trying to get your kids recruited to. If you want to learn more about Huddle and how your school can become part of the Huddle team, go to huddle.com and talk to their professionals. Remember, Huddle, we power sports. We also want to thank Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack for sponsoring the Athletic Director's Toolbox segment of our podcast. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect some comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your athletic program. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack also gives the 95% of the players and parents who really love your program a voice and helps demonstrate the importance that a positive athletic experience has for them. Go to athleticsurveys.com and check out their testimonials, and then give them a call at 1-800-738-6466, or you can email them at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack. Let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. We also want to thank our good friends at Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Learn more at hometownticketing.com. Hometown Ticketing, simple and easy online ticketing. Hey, thanks again for tuning into this special episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We want to thank everybody who has supported us for these 16 months that we've been doing these little interviews, including our new format, which has interviews being posted on Mondays and Fridays, along with our two regular features, Tuesday's Mentoring Minute with Dan Como, and Thursday's Team Building Tips with John Scromolo. We also, every other Wednesday, have Jessica Upchurch share What's Up with Upchurch, focusing on best practices for hometown ticketing users. So again, we really appreciate all the support that you've shown us. Also want to do a little bit of bragging. And for those of you that will be watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see the graph that I'm going to share in just a moment. For the rest of you listening on the podcast, I'll try to explain it. So I'm going to pause it here real quick and screen share a graph. You know, we use the Anchor platform to distribute our podcast. And one of the neat things that Anchor gives us for free is these analytics. So again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see it's a graph showing the number of downloads that our episodes have had since we started back in July of 2020 up through this current week. And as you can see, 4 of our top 5 all-time records for downloads in a week have occurred most recently. And again, we thank you for your support. We appreciate the athletic directors who have created the content for us. I'm the guy that gets to ask the questions. They're the ones that are talking about, their school and their program. So again, things are trending up. I think our sponsors like this. I know I do. And as I've said, as long as people keep listening, we're going to keep doing these. So again, thanks so much for listening. And you're part of an ever-growing podcast audience. As I mentioned, we have our new format with our Monday, Friday interviews and our special features on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Wednesdays. We had an open Wednesday this week. And as I was looking at the internet the other day, I came across an article that I thought was really cool. And I'm going to go ahead and share it as part of this open Wednesday. So we're going to take a real quick break, acknowledge our sponsors very quickly, and then we'll come back and share this information. Again, this is not mine. It's something that I came across, but I think it was very cool. And we'll share that with you in just a minute. So please stay with us. We really couldn't do these episodes without the support of our sponsors. Violet Defense has been with us almost from the beginning. They're an FIAAA sponsor. They sponsored our podcast swag, our visors that we send out to our guests. If you've been on the show and you haven't gotten your visor, that's bad on me. So shoot me an email and I'll get that visor out to you right away. We also want to thank Sidelight Interactive. Again, one of our top sponsors. We actually have a Sidelight Interactive video board in our gymnasium, and it is fantastic. We don't just use it for games. We also use it for signing ceremonies for our student athletes. It's a really cool tool, and their customer service is fantastic. So please get in touch with Sidelight Interactive. Wall of Fame is also an FIAAA sponsor that has come on and sponsored our podcast as well. The FIAAA has a Wall of Fame video for their FIAAA Hall of Fame. Great people, great service, great product. You really need to check them out. Huddle is also a sponsor of the podcast. I used Huddle as a football coach, and we were a Huddle school up in Tallahassee. All of our teams uploaded their video to the Huddle platform. We had a Huddle focus camera in our gym. You need to check out Huddle. They are another great customer service program. Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack has sponsored our Athletic Directors Toolbox segment. And again, I really encourage you to reach out and get in touch with these folks. The information that they can provide for your athletic program will really allow you to do a much better job than you're already doing. So that's athletic surveys by LifeTrack. And of course, Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider. Check them out. Check out Jessica Upchurch segments on Wednesdays, What's Up with Upchurch, as she does a deep dive into all the things that Hometown Ticketing can do for you. Thanks again to all of our sponsors, and thanks to you for supporting them. Welcome back. As I was sharing the other day, I was perusing the internet and just came across this really cool article. It's from a blog, Jamie Sumner. She's a special needs mom, author, blogger, but her topic was how we turned our family into a Ted Lasso worthy team. You heard John Scromolo's team building tips on Thursday. He's used a couple of Ted Lasso episodes and segments to illustrate a point about how to build a team. And if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, you really need to check it out. Just whether it's from a coaching perspective or from a team building perspective, it really has some great lessons for us. So, there's our shout out for Ted Lasso. So what I want to do is I just want to share this blog again from Jamie Sumner about how they turned their family into a Ted Lasso worthy team. So these are not my words, but I really found them powerful, and I thought I'd share them with you right now. So again, this is Jamie Sumner's blog. Our family has a saying whenever one of us is complaining about being slightly inconvenienced: we are a team. It's so simple a metaphor for family drama that it's almost embarrassing, but therein lies the Ted Lasso appeal. The simplest, most honest approach is often the best one. Think about your favorite soccer, football, basketball, baseball team. Or if you're not into sports, maybe think about your favorite sports movie. Remember the Titans, The Blind Side, Rudy, We Are Marshall, The Rookie. They all follow the same basic plot. Number one, players come together. Number two, players discover they're all different and perhaps don't like each other very much. Number three, players lose a lot because they're all trying to be number one. Number four, players reach a low point where they acknowledge that they can't do it alone. They make sacrifices and admit they need each other. 5, players work together to overcome the big obstacle, whether that be their own team, their own psyches, a bigger, badder team, social injustice, or something else. Number 6, players become a team and all rejoice. And 7, somebody gets a trophy. Well, we don't give out trophies in our family, but you get the general idea. Home life has to be some kind of team effort. You can't thrive in your home environment if you're only looking out for yourself. And also, you can't thrive if you're only looking out for everybody else. There has to be some kind of give and take, a team huddle, where we all agree the direction we're going and then go that way together. And where you're going is determined by your family or your team values. Or to keep this sports metaphor going, what's your end goal? Here are a few things to ask yourself and your family or your team to determine your end goal. What do we want to spend our time on this year? What isn't working that we want to change? How would you describe your family to your friends? And what is it that is unique about our family unit, and how can we celebrate that? It's easy to get caught up in the everyday rush and rumble of routine: school lunches, therapies, your roof that needs reshingling, cars with the mysterious warning light, phones that continually push notifications at you. But a bird's eye view gives the most honest perspective. You see where the gaps in the game plan lie. Maybe you want more meals together. Okay, so you don't have time for family dinner, but how about a family breakfast or a family snack? Maybe you want to do more with your community. You might be scared of the commitment, but some easy things that you could do would be drop books in the free little library in your neighborhood, sort some clothes to donate, There's always a way to course correct when it comes to what you value the most. Best of all is practice on working towards a goal as a family unit. Now, at this point, Jamie goes into some special circumstances of her family, which has a special needs child. But she talks about how they work together and make sure that the family always comes first while taking care of those individual needs. And Jamie wraps it up this way: a win for each of us is a win for all. This is one of our values. And in turn, a sacrifice made by each of us is appreciated by all of us. We have traded one kid's sporting event for another's. We've waited minutes that feel like hours until the one learning to tie their shoes gets that last loop looped. We've ditched it all to go eat fast food in the car and drive around with the windows down because life was getting too loud. This is what we do because we are a team. Sometimes we lose because nobody gets that balance right all the time. But the losses don't matter as much when you know you are in it for the long run. There will always be another game to play. As I read this, I just really found connections with, 100 years ago, my own kids growing up. All of three of our kids were involved in sports. And so a lot of evenings, my wife, who's also a coach, we're at the gym, we're at the field, and we're with our kids. There were also many times where, as an athletic director, or especially as the head football coach, I brought the job home with me. And our family suffered on those nights. So again, whether you're talking about your own family or your family at school, make sure that family is your focus. That's the Ted Lasso connection. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was from a blog by Jamie Sumner. You can find her on the internet if you're interested. And thanks for listening to this special Wednesday edition of the Educational AD podcast. Keep coaching those coaches. And again, thank you so much for listening to the podcast episodes. We really appreciate it. Come back again next time for another episode of the Educational AD.